Successful leadership style. This is the topic of discussion in this presentation. So we need to discuss the various modalities which enables our leaders to be more successful and probably have a fluent style thereby. So let us understand the concepts of leadership in the first place. We need to understand the types of leaderships, what are the various style that comes around it, the perspective, the situational, the change leadership, if we are looking into it, the theories of leadership, we will look into the theories altogether as to what various authors have already stated around it, and definitely what are the factors which needs to be changed or which actually affects the style of leadership. So yes, types of leadership, change leadership, theory of leadership, and the factors affecting style is all we will be discussing around here today. Let us begin with the types of leadership style that we have already said around here. Remember the first thing that I said in the particular slide. Now there are four types of leadership that we come around it. One is an autocratic leaders. You can call a dictator to be around it, a person who says it's either my way or it's the highway. So we are talking about autocratic, who actually, if you look into it, this particular photographs, who actually points of fingers and tells the person, tells the job what needs to be finished. And then there is a democratic leader who is a person or probably a leader who is participative in nature, wherein they discuss it out and they will find the most logical reasons for you to enact upon a job. And then there is something called laissez-faire or free rein leaders, wherein the leaders will only discuss and show you the path, will never ask you to walk the path. It is up to you to walk the path, and that is what the laissez-faire leadership is all about. It paternalistic leaders is what we are looking out here. Yes, we are looking wherein a leader has been perceived as being protected again and again. So types of leadership is autocratic leaders, leaders making decision without reference to anyone. A high degree of dependence on the leadership comes around here. This is what we are looking. Can create demotivated motivations and alienations of staff, may be valuable to some type of business, probably yes, but where decisions are to be made very quickly and decisively. So types of leadership style needs to be decided upon here now and there. Remember, this is without reference to anyone else. It is as on basis as the leader would always say. You have to be enacting on the orders that has been there. Why? Because every person, every subordinate, every followers, every employee will be hugely dependent, as all the resources, all the powers are vested in the leader. So this might be demotivational. This might lead to a sense of dissatisfaction among the staff. Comes the democratic leaders, encourages decision making from different perspective. Leadership may be emphasized throughout the organization. They are talking about being consultative process of consultation before the decisions have been taken. We are talking about being persuasive. Leaders take decisions, seek to persuade others that the decision is correct. This is what we always take around every now and then. Remember, democratic leaders can be consultative and can be persuasive. Obviously, yes, but ensure that they are talking, communicating, discussing with their peers, with their employees, with their staff, with their followers. Democratic leaders helps by leaps and bounds in improving the motivation, improving the involvement, improvement in the cooperation during the execution of state. The workers feels an ownership of the firm and its ideas, improve the sharing of ideas and experiences within the business that we keep on talking. Can delay decision making. Yes, it absolutely can delay decision making. Then thereby that we are talking around here. Laissez-faire leadership styles, on the other hand, can be completely free, wherein I stated as earlier, the leaders will show the path. but the leaders will never ask you to walk the path. So it's a let it be leadership. Responsibilities are shared by all, can be very useful in business, which wherein creative ideas are important, wherein creative liberties have to be taken, can be highly motivational as people have control over their working life, can make coordination and decision making time consuming and lacking in overall direction, relies on the good teamwork, relies in good interpersonal relations. This is what the laissez-faire leadership is all about here. Types of leadership style, being paternalistic is wherein the leaders take good care of their followers and staff as if they were their own children, as if they are the responsibilities of leaders. Should I say the leaders act as a father figure? Paternalistic make decision, but may consult definitely, but may consult. Paternalistic decision leaders believes in the need to support the staff every now and then that we are talking around here. Yes, this is the type of leadership which is very good. Similarly, we have finished with the types of leadership style. Let me move to the change leadership as I've been talking around here. Remember, we are talking about various successful leadership styles are all about it. So we'll talk about the problem, solution, selling the idea, resentment, and so on and so forth. Change leaderships is what it is, the time when we are going through a transformation. It is the time when the organization changes from one process to another one, changes the technology, changes the cultures, changes the ethos. It is the person who leads from the front and manages those changes. The business environment is subject to fast-paced economic and social change. Modern business must adapt and be flexible thereby. This is what we are looking out here every now and then. Problems in leading the changes stems mainly from human resource management that comes around it. Yes, that is what we are true. Let me plot time on x-axis and self-esteem and y-axis, and we will tell you about various kind of leaders that comes around it. What are the probabilities it happen? You know, the first thing is immobilization. As rumors of change circulate, the individual feels that the sense of shock and possible disbelief so much that they deem it worthy of doing nothing at all. Let us come to the point number two. So this is the place where it is absolutely immobile, absolutely no self-esteem, no time. Point number two is minimizations. Things have moved as far as time is concerned. Self-esteem has improved. This is minimalizations, and you are not displaying your affluence at all. You are just going as the day passes by. As change becomes clearer, people try to fit in the change with their own personal position and may try to believe it will not affect them at any cost, at any state that comes around it. This is what minimization is all about it. Let us move to the next stage, which will be third. Now, this is again when the self-esteem drops altogether. Now, this is where you are talking about depression as a reality begins to draw in. Staff may feel alienated, they might feel angry, they might feel that they don't have sufficient amount of control over the events. Now, this overtakes the people into depression and they try to reconcile what exactly is happening around here. This is what actually happens and it goes down. Your self-esteem plummets at the lowest ebb altogether. This is the fourth step when there is what you call the acceptance, the fact that situation is much more powerful. As an individual, you have to let go with the flow, and that is what the lowest point in self-esteem finally sees people starting to accept the inevitable. Fear of future is a feature of these days that comes around it. And as we go for an acceptance, there is something called the movement that happens around it. It is all about testing out. Probably now as a chance where you say, okay, fine, individual will begin to understand, will begin to react to the change. They will start to ask the question as to see what is right with the change, and that is how we improve to the best position that comes around it. is having a meaning for yourself, finding your true worth. Individual try to assess themselves to see the change and how it might be beneficial to them. This is where self-esteem tries to be rising again. This is what we are looking. And once being successful, nothing like it. It's where you internalize this, make it a habit, make it a fact that yes, not only change is required, but with change, with the passage of time, I can grow with my own confidence, the worth of self being improved, but leaps and bounds. The change is understood, it's been adopted with an individual understanding, and that is what we are looking out here. So I hope the change leadership, everybody can understand the fact. Now we'll talk about the transformational, the theories of leadership which goes around it before we move to the various styles and the successful one that you need to decide upon it. The traits are being the trait theories of leadership, the transformational theories, the behavioral theories, the contingency theory, the invitational theories, and the transactional theories. Transactional theories are full of rewards, trait theories are full of qualities and characteristics of the leader, the transformational leaderships, and so on and so forth. So let us understand these things one by one. Is there a set of characteristics that determine a good leader? Probably yes. Probably certain leaders will have akin to a similar personality, dominance, personal presence, charisma, self-confidence, achievement, ability to formulate a clear vision is what the theories of leadership would actually enact upon it. Then comes the trait theories. Are such characteristics inherently gender biased? Now, this is one thing which we need to understand, and I probably can state it very safely that trait theory does not make any differences vis-a-vis when there is a gender is being questioned. It is equal to every of the genders that we are existing as of now. Do such characteristics produce good leaders? Definitely, yes. There is a greater propensity of producing a vibrant leader who have successful traits or the traits are imbibed in their characters. Is leadership more than bridging about the change, bringing about the change? Definitely yes. Leaders are born, leaders are made so that there is an impactful change that can be incorporated. Does this imply that the leaders are born and not bred? Probably not. Then comes the behavioral theories, imply that the leaders can be trained, focus on ways of doing things. Structure-based behavior theories focus on the leaders instituting the structures, task orientation. Relationship-based behavior theories focus on the development and maintenance of the relationship process. This is process-oriented, what we call around it. Let us understand and visit the contingency theories. Leaders are more and more flexible. They are flexible as per the situation, as per the requirement. Different style evolves at different times depending upon the circumstances. Remember, suggestive leadership is not a fixed series of characteristics that can be transformed in a different context altogether. So, what is being meant is a leader can be very successful in one particular organization, one particular situation, one particular context, need not mean that the leader will be equally successful in a different organization, a different context, or a different situation altogether. You need to adapt it. It is the contingency theory that needs to be discussed time and again, every now and then. So theories of leadership depends on the type of staff, the history of business, cultures of business, quality of relationship, nature of changes that goes around it. Now this is what is the accepted norms within the institution that is there. So it depends. Theories of leadership will depend. Let us understand the transformational part is the widespread changes that has been brought about in the environment, be it your business or your organization. It requires a longer time strategic planning, clear objective, clear vision, leading by example, walking the talk and walking the walk, actually whatever you say, whatever you do, you need to go around it. You need to set examples. Let people see what you are saying and what you are doing. There cannot be any minute differences in between what you say and what you do. Efficiency of the system and the process that comes around out here. Theories of leadership will tell me about the invitational leaderships, wherein it is the atmosphere, the message clearly stated by the organizations to all its employees. Focus on reducing negative messages sent through everyday actions for business, both extensively and uh, unrequired, crucially or internally, as the case might be. Review internal process to reduce these things, build relationship and the sense of belonging next towards the identifying with the organization that the is been communicated with the customers. That is what is important. Remember, transactional theories are all focusing on management of organization. I am trying to give it to you the various leadership style which you can adopt it for you to be successful in your sphere of professional life. Focus on the management, focus on the organization, focus on the proficiency, focus on the efficiency. You need to understand those organizations with their rules and regulation, contract managing current issues with the problem that comes around here. This is what we will talk around it. The last is the style that get affected, the risk factors, the types of business, the necessities of changes, the nature of the talks, and the OC, the organization cultures that we keep on saying it. Again, remember, based upon these requirements, I have discussed with you the types of styles, the change leadership, the theories. The change leadership was clearly told with the help of your self-esteem and the time passages that goes around it, and how do you improvise upon it. That is what we are looking for you, and based upon it, after we can imply the theories and adopt a particular style which will catapult us to be a successful leaders and a person in our professional and personal life, definitely. So we need to understand this thing time and again, as in factors, the types of business, the necessity for change, the nature of task, and the organization culture. Remember, leadership is all about different factors. It depends on them, and optimizing those factors in your benefit, towards your benefit, is the risk decision making and change initiative based on degree of risk involved. Types of business: creative business or supply driven. How important change is. Change for change sake. After all, organizational culture may be long embedded, may be difficult to change. Nature of the task needed cooperation, direction, and structure. How do we go ahead with it? Do we look into it? How do we say so if any of this thing comes around it? With this, I come to leave the rest to the audience as to what is the best style that you want to adapt to yourself for the benefit that accounts for the organization, that accounts for your professional growth and your personal satisfaction. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.